Hello, hello. I hope you can hear me. Still setting up the chats so that I have them. So camera coming right up. And there we are. Nice to see you, CFQ. Tough enough. Hope I spoke that out correctly. Always read your comments. Very nice to have you here. So let's see for this board. I have this board since quite some time now. This is an Asrock B550 Phantom Gaming 4 AC. And this has missing sleep state 3 and sleep state 4. Yes, so this doesn't react to the power, or it does react to the power button, or probably does not react to the power button. We will have to see. So let's see then. Do I have the correct title set? One second. Do I have any title? Let's see right here. Title. There we are. Now I have a live stream title. Oh, I still need to get used to how this works. Russ, very nice to see you. Hi there. So, like the second live stream ever. Let's see what this will hold for us. Let's build up this board and see how it behaves, because it's been like a year since I've tried to repair this one. Yes, another live stream. Yeah, it's been like, what, 3 weeks or something like that, and I just spoke to my wife and I was like, I need to do this once more. Like, I need to get out there and try it again. Like, it's kind of late for me here, but yeah, I still thought I need to try this today, because I have some time on my hand. Hello, how are you, bro? I am very fine. Thanks for asking. Hello, Swindon Electronics Repair. Hi there. Last time was fun. Yeah, exactly. It was like there. It is actually really weird still for me to live stream, but yeah, I'm trying to get used to it. So let's see for this board then. Let's get the power supply working into here. Let's see, passive power consumption. What does it say? It says 230 milliamps. That's kind of high, actually. I wouldn't have expected that much, but yeah, it can be fine. I've seen like 280 also be fine. It does react to the power button. Oh, I think, did I still short something on here? Yeah, I think I shorted something. Yeah, I've created S3 state here. Let's get the microscope on here. I forgot that I did that the last time. Where's my mouse? Let's switch to the microscope view here. Yeah, right here. Yeah, I've shorted this one right here. I have to take out that short. So this board isn't reacting to the power button. It was just there because I was creating the S3 state for that is coming out of the CPU, which is a sleep signal, which is basically telling the board in what state it is. And this is a dual AND gate that takes 2 signals in, and if those are, or like 3 signals in, and if those are in a high state, it then creates a high state at the output. And one of the inputs is missing, which is the S3 from the CPU. So you have the top side right there with those 3 pins where the inputs are. Then you have one VCC line, which is like 3.3 volts, and an output line. And if that output line isn't high, like it is in this case, the board won't start up. We will have to find out why, because the CPU is probably missing something. Oh, did my chat freeze again? I think it did. Let me see, because I updated the stream title. No, looks fine. Okay, so let's check with power supply to here. Oh, yeah, now the power consumption is way lower, as you can see, because now the sleep state isn't applied anymore. Oh, I'm hearing myself. I have a live stream somewhere enabled where I hear myself. Like that. That's better. So how is everyone? How have the fixes been? JFix, I just started to watch the video of the Dell laptop that you tried to repair where you had that CMOS error. I've just started, so don't spoil me on that, how it went. But I'm looking forward to that repair. So we do have 3.3 volt. That is one of the inputs. That is the VCC for this line. And this is the output, which should be 3.3 volts. And when pressing the power button, let's see, does it make a difference for the output? It does not. Okay, let's check the inputs. We have one here, that is 0 volts. We have one there, also 0 volts, as far as it seems. Yep, and what is the middle one? And the middle one has voltage. One of those might be ground. Let's check if one of those is ground, actually. Yeah, that is ground. So this is the one that is coming from the CPU, where we actually are supposed to have voltage in order for this to turn on. So this one right here comes actually from the CPU. And if the CPU has all the signal it needs, it can supply this voltage right here. And that is what we're missing. We have to find out why. Denim Jeans 2007. Hi, nice to see you. Oh, yeah, don't spoil it. I will have a good look out for that. Let's see for things around the CPU socket. If there's anything knocked off here, maybe. Oh, I have something running in the background that is very loud. 1 second, need to change that. Like that. And doing all of the live streaming and managing like audio and everything, it's tough. Like people who do live streaming for 8-9 hours a day, man, that's hard. Let's have a good look if anything here is maybe knocked off, something missing. They have definitely flashed the BIOS, as it looks like here. So I've tried to repair this board before. It's been a long time since I did that. And yeah, these boards that I don't like get on the first time, I always love to put them in a stream where I can like take some time, babble around, and then look around if I can find anything and then actually fix it. And also so that some viewers can give me some input of what they think could also be an issue. So far the board looks fairly clean. It's like it's dirty because it's been laying at my place for a long time. But like physically it looks fine. No damage anywhere. Big question is VDDP running? I will have to find that somewhere. Let's see then. Let's go for this coil. 1.8 volts. Okay, 1.8 volts is present. That's a good sign. Let's see. We need to find 0.9 volts. Another 1.8 volt rail. Okay. Let's see. There are two bigger rails down here, which is probably one of those will be VDDP. This one is 105 volts, probably for the PCH, and this one is 0.9 volts. Okay, so the VDDP is also present, so the CPU is supposed to have probably all of its voltages. Let's see, what is this? Is this the 3VSB? 3VSB, okay, so that is also there. Yeah, voltages seem fine on this board. Okay, let's check this thing here. This is probably VPP, and it's not running, and I don't think it should be running. Probably isn't supposed to run. Let's see, what are you here? Some more, like 2.5 volts maybe? Nothing here, nothing there. Nope, totally dead. Okay. You might have to have a look at what this is, because it does have 5 volts as a supply voltage, but it's not generating anything on the output. So this might be a 2.5 volts that is missing. I heard that, but mine's not at 8 hours, max was 7. Even 7 hours, man. Like, I wouldn't even know what to talk about for 7 hours. Like, at some points, I just get so lost in repairing boards that I probably just would go quiet and, like, not talk at all anymore. Oh, is there something knocked off there that I have not seen before? Wait. I just saw something. Where's that? Right here. What have I done here? Was I? That's probably my work, I think. I will have to put that back. That is probably my work, and I don't remember having done that. Once again, sabotaging myself. Let's put that back. That is probably not the cause of the issue, just something that I did. Yeah, this is one of the problems with like boards that I've been working on for like a year or something, where I don't remember for like small things like this that I have done to it. Let's get that back quickly. Just talk to chat, such a great interaction. Yeah, with good people like I have in my chat, it's like, yeah, I could definitely talk for a long time. But I'm trying to give some value of like repairing stuff also, and try to share some of the knowledge I have and like gain knowledge from others as well. So now it's put back together nicely. Okay, this probably wasn't anything that had actually to do with our issue here. Just needing to put that back properly. Yeah, it was moved on purpose by me. Yeah, JFix. JFix, you need to check your AliExpress affiliates. I have bought multiple times with like your coupon codes or discount codes when you have like the dollar ranges and individual coupon codes. I've used yours multiple times now. So you should have gotten a good commission out of that. Because I was like buying stuff for like 120 euros or something, and I used your code, and I actually was able to save quite some money with that. So I'm thankful. I think I saved like 25 bucks or something. It was pretty great. So they are definitely worth the effort. Putting them out there every, what is it, month that you have to update them? You don't get a commission from them? That's a scam. Because like the links that I have in my video description uh, um are always with a commission actually. And I can kind of see what people buy through my links, and I get a commission from that. But I share them if they send me any coupons. Ah, if someone clicks my links, they definitely I can get a commission. Yeah, okay. I thought those coupon codes would also do that. But I guess they do not. Interesting. I definitely need to see if I have done any more botch jobs to this. Not that I have moved anything else and also have forgotten about it. Okay, what is that? I've been poking at that pad. That one. But there was never anything fitted there. Okay. Looking clean so far. Nothing on this board that is knocked off, damaged, or anything. Definitely have to take a good look at the backside of this board. Because I do not remember at all if there was anything there. But not a single scratch on the front side of the board. Yeah, everything looking quite fine. I do have a board view of this board, so we will definitely have to find out where's the butt converter that I just saw. Um, where right here. What this buck converter is, if this is like the 2.5 volts that maybe is missing for the PCH or FCH in this case, definitely have to figure that out. But first we probably are going to have a good look at the back of the board. Let's also see near the 24-pin adapter. Hi there, I test things LN, probably Netherlands. Not sure, but hi there. Good to see you. So around the 24-pin, everything looking fine. Okay, I was there. I soldered something there. Interesting. I vaguely remember that I soldered something there. Let's see, this is VDDQ, the 1.2 volts for the memory. Let's close these sockets in order to see what is going on at the top here. All looks fine. Okay, let's have a good look at the backside then. Saludos desde España. I do not speak Spanish. I'm very sorry. I have like people that talk to me in Spanish in my comment section or anything like that, and that is probably because they have automatically translated videos. But yeah, I do not speak Spanish. So here on the back side, it looks like it got a hit definitely, but yeah, none of these look like they were ever populated because they are all like fluffy pads, and that is not how it looks like when a component gets knocked off. And there's a solder blob for whatever reason right here, but it's actually soldered. Cannot remove that. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Okay, I've been at this connector. Interesting, interesting. For whatever reason. Do you have a donation link? I do not have a donation link. I do not do that. Uh, the issue with this was no reaction to the power button, but you're getting all your voltages. I'm getting most of the voltages so far, but the S3 is missing. The S3 is a signal that the CPU gives out when it has all of the necessary stuff like the oscillation and voltages to it, and gives the board like a power good signal. I'm still thinking about looking at the oscillators of this board. Needing to get probably my oscilloscope then into here. But first I want to do visual inspection because it's been a very long time since I have had a good look at the board. Like it's been laying in my closet for a very long time. And yeah, I first want to do visual inspection because there might have been something that I missed the last times that I worked on this. Because there definitely is quite some scratches on the backside, like this one. But this one didn't damage anything through. I can see that basically with the bare eye here. Let's see. Nothing knocked off here. Let's relocate the microscope back of the PCH. Nothing here. So if you guys want to have a good video for today's evening or whenever it is for your time, have a good look at like Nanofix, I think he's called. He has a good podcast with Joey Does Repair, I think his name was. And I really like the way he did that because the podcast is just very nice to listen to have like the meaning of like all the opinions of someone who does also YouTube and Twitch and so stuff. Oh, we actually have people on Twitch. Finding a needle in a haystack. Yes, exactly, Link for Hunter. And King Size XXL. Hello again. Nice to see you. Yeah, and actually they did a podcast of like what 90 minutes or something, or maybe even almost 2 hours. And I've listened to like an hour of that, and it's great so far. Can really recommend that. It's really interesting to listen to them. So this is just for LEDs. So there are quite some scratches. Have a look at where is it? Right here. And I've been working on this. Interesting. Yeah, I remember this. That I've been looking back and forth a lot at this, trying to figure out if all of these lines are continuous. But I'm pretty sure that all of these lines were continuous because I would have repaired them if they were not. Let's clean them up a little bit and have a good check again. Maybe I missed something then. I can see people recommending your name in the comments. Wow, that would be actually quite interesting having like a talk with him. But actually, it would be probably pretty interesting for you as well, JFix. Like he could also do you. Like Joey Does Tech is a pretty big name in the like YouTube space. I think like small fishes like us. I don't know how he is about that. If he first like tries to get bigger people like Tronics Fix and people like that in. But yeah, who knows? Maybe one day it's our turn. Yeah, that's really scratched up. Joey do tag. Oh, that's how he's called. Thank you very much. Hi Fox, new subscriber. What board are you fixing? This is a B550 Phantom Gaming form that has no reaction to the power button because of missing sleep state signal from the CPU. So SLPS3 is missing. And currently, we're trying to check some of these traces right here in order if I have continuity or not. Oh, this is very difficult because I cannot get fitted into one screen. I need different probes. These probes are not sharp enough. Let me grab different probes that I have, so that they may be sharp enough to actually probe that place. So let's see. How do I do this so that I can actually see most of this? I actually do. For this microscope, I actually do have a way of like putting different lenses on here. But it just takes so long, so I don't even bother most of the time. Let's see if I just... Yeah, almost. Let's do it sideways. Do we see better when we do this? Yes. That will be better. Joey does tag. Oh yeah, okay. Why is your microscope so hard and just still so zoomed in? So that is because of the lenses that are into here. I can actually show you that. There are different lenses that come with this that have different magnification. This is the box that it came with. Right here, you can... Right, like that, you can see that. Those are lenses in here. And they have different magnifications. Let's see what is written on here. They actually call for a distance. Yeah, that is not readable. Let's see. Here, object distance 12 millimeter to 320 millimeters. And I do have another one that is working distance 4 to 5 millimeters. So they have different magnifications that you can put onto there. And this one is quite a high magnification, I would guess. I cannot see it for now. The reading is hidden. So yeah, that is why the camera can be like right there while my desk is like a lot lower. You need 0.5 lens. Yeah, I'm not too sure what kind of lens is on here. First time attending you live stream. I like the work you do. Thank you very much. That are very kind words. It looks like you have already done this before, grinding the tracks both sides. Yeah, I've done this, but I don't trust myself because I have done bad things to myself in the past with like previous repairs where I've done actually done like a bad job on a board, and I gaslighted myself into thinking that the work I done was proper. Yeah, so I will double check this just to be sure. So there's continuity for that trace. I've sabotaged myself. That's the word I was looking for. That is good. Then third one down. That is also good. Fourth one. Also fine. Fifth one. Also good. Sixth one. Good. Seventh one. And eighth one. Also good. Yeah, exactly like I thought it was. Actually, no breaks here. It looks horrible. Like, it looks like it had, like, that it definitely should have been, that there should be something damaged here, but it just isn't. It actually just is visually bad. You definitely could be invited to JDT. Just need to be present on his Discord. He has a motherboard to repair. Actually, would be pretty interesting. Like, I could definitely help out on a motherboard. But you know, like, giving advice through a live stream is always so difficult. Like, diagnosing something that you don't have on your bench in front of you is just, it's horrible, man. Like, I would say I do understand quite some about ATX motherboards, but like doing this without having the board in front of you is something else. And giving someone instructions on how to do it. Yes, yeah, it looks horrible, but it is fine actually. No damaged traces, like just the surface of it, but nothing actually broken. So we will probably have to get the oscilloscope in. Or before we do that, let's have a look at the board view, because I want to find out if that 2.5 volts should be running like at the sleep state, at the S5 sleep state, so the standby mode. So if this one here is supposed to run or not, I want to find that out, because there is 5 volts actually coming into that inductor right there, and that is then going into the chip. So I want to find out if this should be enabled in standby or not. Let's go over to the board view. Yes, let's switch scenes here. Let's switch to the board viewer scene, and you every second now should come up. Let's see right here. There it is. Let's open the file. We need B550 Phantom Gaming 4. Phantom Gaming 4, there it is. Okay, let's see here. There's our board. It was around this area, I think. Oh no, is this a different one? Oh, is this Phantom Gaming 4? Because this looks different, the area, doesn't it? 2.5 V. No, this is this is the chip where the 5 volts comes in for 2.5 volts. Okay, and the output should probably be here. Yeah, 2.5 volts pH. And then it goes through this inductor. Yeah, it is this board. Okay, so 2.5 volts. I think this should be present in standby. Let's see. This is an RT8065. Isn't that the controller that dies all the time? RT8065. It actually is. That might be our corporate here. Because this, for this buck converter, this thing has been a plague for Intel mainboards from like Z97 and Z170 and so forth. This thing dies all the time, and a lot of X99. That this thing dies all the time. I have like 20 of these in stock because these keep dying. As soon as I see this chip, I'm not thinking that it is working. I'm very suspicious of this. Okay, it has an enable signal right there. We should check that. Where it's if it's present or not. And what is this signal? V in, we have that. SS, I don't know what that is. Then another signal through 75 kilo ohm resistor to a capacitor. Okay, nothing special there. And let's continue here. 6, what is that connected to? Just to ground. Okay, feedbacking, power good. So this probably is enabled in standby. Let's see what these are connected to. A 0 ohm resistor to PU 1750 and 2. No idea what that is. A load switch. Okay. Let's see where that also goes. To a double N-channel MOSFET and a 10k ohm resistor that has 3 VSB on it. So it's very interesting to find out if there's 3 VSB. So this is a pull-up resistor. 3 VSB should be coming into here via that resistor. And then it can be disabled via this N-channel MOSFET right here. And the big question is now, is this enabled or not? So let's check that. We will see for the resistance and for the voltage on this point. So let's go back to the microscope. So back on the microscope. Let's get into that area. Right here we have to be. Okay, let's get, where is, there it is. There's the power. Let's get in voltage mode, supply passive power. And let's have a good look now. So we need 3 VSB on this side. 3 VSB. We need 3 VSB here. And we do not have 3 VSB. So is this shorted to ground? Because that would mean that is probably the transistor that is disabling it. Yeah, we have 4 ohms to ground. I agree. I test the things Flexport View is amazing. Yeah, Flexport View. I'm just so used to the board viewer that I'm using. Like, I should probably go to Flexport View. Yeah, the PCB is black of this one. Hello, guys. Greetings from Switzerland. Second stream, and finally I can catch it. Very nice to see you. Thank you that you're here. The ground points are all the same colors, easy to see. Oh, okay, that's good. That's actually good to know. Yeah. Well, yeah, you know, I just learned using the board viewer software that that I now use. That is where I made my most experience with and where I learned all of my stuff. So, yeah, for me it's very easy to follow all of that because I've just been used to do that. So this double N-channel MOSFET, you need to think of 2 triangles. So that pin is connected to that pin, and then you have to find out if that gate is responsible for those 2, or if that gate is responsible for those 2. So you always have on the outer pins, you have a source and drain on the top ones, and then you have the gates that enable or disable that. So let's see then on this middle pin right here. Oh, that is not voltage mode. Let's see, right there. No voltage. Okay, so it is that this gate is connected to these 2 down here, and that gate is connected to those 2. If this gate has voltage, these 2 are shorted to each other, which pulls our signal currently down to ground. So let me flip that so I can actually probe that middle pin. And we probably will have gate voltage on that transistor. Yeah, 5 volts. Okay, we will have to find out why that has 5 volts. Back to the board viewer. I'm here in the US. Hi all. Hey there. I do have no idea what time is it for you guys. It is 23 o'clock for me here, so 11 in the evening. Are you selling components as well, or do you just keep them in stock for yourself? I just have them in stock for myself. So let's have a good look. So this gate is for something different, and we have this gate. This is the important gate. Oh, this is the double gate configuration. Yeah, okay. I already know how this works. So you have 5-volt dual coming in here from another pull-up resistor, and that is present. That goes through here. And then the important thing is it's connected to both of these pins. So you have the middle pin, which is the gate pin. This one is the one that we want to be low. How can this be pulled low? Because there's just these 3 pins here. It can be pulled low through pin 3. Pin 3 can be connected to pin 4 if pin 5 has voltage. So if this gate is enabled, pin 3 gets pulled to pin 4. And we saw that pin 5 has no voltage. So we need voltage on pin 5 in order for 4 to connect to 3, which then pulls down the 5-volt dual coming from here, which then means the gate goes low, which then does not connect pin 6 to pin 1 anymore, which means that our 3 VSB coming from here gets into our enable signal. So we will have to find out why there's no voltage on pin 5. 2216, so 1 hour earlier for me. 2316, 2216, yeah, 1 hour earlier than me, and 2316 just like here in Germany. 1516 here in Arizona. Oh, okay. So it's just middle of the day. So let's see where this is actually coming from. So there's actually nothing but a capacitor here, this N-channel MOSFET, and a 0 ohm resistor. Yeah, and this is connected to sleep state 3. Interesting. So actually to the signal that we are tracing. Okay, but how is that MOSFET then connected? Oh, this is also just a gate that, oh no, this MOSFET isn't populated. Yeah, so this only comes from sleep state 3. So the 2.5 volts only turns on when we actually have the sleep state 3. Because this is the signal that we're actually searching for, pretty surely. Yeah, that comes from this logic gate. Because this is the logic gate that I showed at the beginning, where we don't have voltage at this output, and that is what we're actually chasing. So the 2.5 volts not being present is just a symptom of what we're actually searching for. Because this is the AND gate I was talking about. And you have ground. You have then S0, A3, GPIO 10 that is actually coming from the CPU. And this is the important signal that we're missing. I think it was this one that we're missing. And this SLPS3L, I think this one is present. I think we do have this one. 11:18 p.m. Yep, also late. So I think it was this one, and we have this one. So the question is, does this come from somewhere? No, only from the BGA socket. Okay, so still something missing for the CPU. So we can disregard this area for the 2.5 volts because this isn't running because the CPU isn't giving out what it needs. Let's see for the oscillation. I hate setting up my oscilloscope that I have because it's really big, but I still love that thing. But yeah, let's get a capture of that and try that. So let's switch scenes again. Let's get actually the microscope out of the way because we want the overhead cam. that camera we need. Let me get my oscilloscope in here. I wish I had like an oscilloscope with like capture through PC software, like I do for the multimeter. But I sadly bought my oscilloscope in a time where that wasn't really a thing. So let's connect a ground point. Let's see right here that I lay it down somehow, that it's actually visible. This is like a classic chunk of an oscilloscope. Like, I love that thing, but it's just, for a bench, it's just enormous. So let's see. Different kind of oscillators that I can see. So let's see. This is just noise. Okay, let's see. Let's see, that big oscillator has nothing on it, but it probably does not need to have anything on it. Let's see, for this oscillator close to the CPU, this actually has oscillation, I think, on it. Let's get the trigger adjusted right there. 48 megahertz I just saw, yeah. Wherever my trigger isn't wanting to work. Oh, this scope actually does 50 megahertz. And like 48 megahertz is quite difficult for it to display. So yeah, that 48 megahertz is present. So that isn't a problem. Big question is why I do not get anything on this one. Let's see. No, this is just noise on it. Yep, nothing on here. This is just noise so far. Yep, cannot get it to display anything, really. Pretty sure this is just noise, yeah. Or is it? Because if that is trying to be an oscillation, that's quite a crappy oscillation. I will probably have to check a board view what that is supposed to be. Because if this is like our 32 kilohertz signal, that might actually be a problem then. Because I'm still trying to figure out where that is supposed to live for the CPU, because that's an important signal for it to turn on. Yeah, but so far I cannot see anything any more close to the CPU where there's another crystal oscillator except that one. Let's see if I can get a signal close to the PCH. But again, just looking like noise. Not looking like a proper signal here. Yep, just noise. Do I have any other crystals that I can check here? There's another crystal near the SIO. This wriggle is the best option if you want something slim and you can connect to the PC. Yeah, actually, this is also a wriggle that I have, but this one is chunky. This is a big one. Like, but they have come out with smaller ones that are easier to handle. But yeah, I exactly bought in a time where this thing was already old, but the new ones haven't come out yet. And yeah, got kind of punished for that. But I cannot get any good oscillation anywhere so far. Except for that 48 megahertz signal. So then let's have a good look at the board view once more. What kind of oscillation those crystals should be. Because currently I cannot get any good oscillation except the 48 megahertz one. So back to the board view once more. So let's see. We got oscillation on this crystal right here. This was the 48 megahertz one. This is present. Where does this go? Because I want to see for like 2 very specific pins. I want this pin, yeah. And this is a 32 kilohertz signal that is supposed to be on this pin. On this one and on... Is it this one? Yeah, this one. On one of these two, I should actually get a proper signal. That is weird. Let's test that again. Let's see right here. Let's go back to the overhead scene. Board is still powered, right? Yeah, still powered. And on this pin right here, we should have oscillation. But we do not. Let's hit the auto button. For us in university, they always tell us the auto button is the idiot button if you press that. But it can be very helpful. Yeah, and there's nothing. This is just noise that you can see on here. This is not an oscillation. And let's see on the lower pad. Also no actual oscillation. Let's hit the auto button once more. Like, the new ones are 400 euros from Wriggle, and I paid 450 from this one, because I bought it new. And it is the slimmer version. Like, there's a 100 megahertz version that costs like 100 euros more. And I got the 4-channel one with 50 megahertz, and it cost me 450 bucks, so yeah. I do not have I cannot justify as a business expense. Like, people always think that I do run like a legitimate business, but I do not make any money with this. Like, I do not charge repair fees or anything. I do not offer it as a service. And yeah. Okay, I want to change out this crystal. I'm very suspicious of it. Because I do not get a proper reading off of it. No oscillation. Let's get a different ground, just to be sure. No, same thing. This is just... Okay, let's just change out that crystal, just to be sure. Because I'm not trusting it. Let's get the oscilloscope out of the way again. Because I need to get a donor board where the 32 kilohertz crystal is on. And I actually have to find one where the crystal looks like that. Where it has the footprint. Let me see. I do have this board. This is an MSI board where there's a crystal on here. Let's get this board out of the way for now. Let's get you disconnected and actually go for the hunt of one. Can you use the scope with Ultra Sigma and USB? I've never heard of that. Is that actually like capturing software for Wriggle? Because I do not know. I think it has... Does it have a USB communication on the back? Let me see one. It does have USB connectivity. Huh. And Ethernet. Maybe I am able to use that. I will have to do some research on that. Is that like official software from them? Ultra Sigma and USB? Those Wriggles are hackable? Yeah, I know they are hackable. You can actually upgrade them to like 100 megahertz because they are selling the same oscilloscope with 50 and 100 megahertz resolution with the same hardware but just different software. And I've been told that you can unlock those with like jailbreaking them. Let's see. This here is, I think, a 32 kilohertz crystal. But it isn't the same footprint that the other one had. And I do not know if I can just change that out. We might want to try that. You don't charge people for the repair. How do you make money? YouTube definitely pays anything. I do not have to make money with this because this is just a hobby. I do work and I do study in university. I do not charge anything. EEV block has info on it. I will definitely have to have a look at that. Main driver 3644. Hello there. Nice to see you. Let's just let's have a quick look in the board view if this crystal is actually fittable for us. So once more, hopping seats, switching scenes. We need a board view from the MS7AC 7 MS7A37, like that. Yeah, and this is the 32 kilohertz crystal. So let's see if we can actually desolder that and put it on there. It's real software for USB that their software, and they have Ultrascope, an application within their software for remote scope access. That is actually very interesting if my oscilloscope supports that, because as I said, it's quite old. But I will have to put some research into that, because that would be great. Like, I love my oscilloscope, but for doing YouTube stuff, it is not fit. It's not proper. The interesting thing here is we might need to port like the resistor also and the capacitors off of here, but we will try it first like this. So let's take it off. Let's first put leaded solder onto there so it's easier to remove. Because I don't want to put too much heat onto that crystal. This does not want to take any solder. Wow, okay. Okay, it took a little bit. And that didn't take any. Yeah. Let's just hot air this off then. For crystals, I really don't have a idea how they work. Like, I just know you apply a voltage to them and then they answer with a oscillation. But like, for the setup of like a high ohm resistor like this and two capacitors, I do not know how that has to be configured in order for it to work. But we will find out if you can just mismatch the ones like we will do here. Let me get the other board again. Den wenigen, die ich kenne, die Motherboards und Grafikkarten reparieren, mangelt es nicht an gut bezahlter Arbeit. Well, yes, but let's say it like that. If I want to, I could have a lot of work and but motherboards pay very little. Like, working on motherboards, you would only need to work on like really high-end boards, and you would need to do like socket swaps and similar stuff. But for the stuff I do, people are really not ready to pay much. The message that he said is the ones that I know that do motherboards and graphics card repair, they do not have a lack of good paid work. But yeah, from my experience, people don't really want to pay anything, but I also do not ask them to pay for anything. Like, yeah, my services are free. I have never charged anyone and probably won't charge anyone for what I do, because I do this because I love to do it. And like, if you want to make money with repairing electronics, motherboards is not what you should get into. You should get into like either stuff from like high-tech services, like integrated stuff that is not for consumers but for businesses. Or you should maybe go into laptops do good money. Graphics card for a while did good money, but I think graphics card market is really difficult currently. And yeah, and data recovery, if you get deep into data recovery, you can probably make so much money with data recovery. But yeah, I would be not interested in that. So we do not care actually about the two back legs. We actually only care about the front. Because the front ones are the ones that actually get the oscillation. Mein Deutsch tut mir leid, ich spreche sehr wenig. Das war sehr gut. It was very good what you did. I instantly understood what you were saying. Don't worry. That was quite nice. Not a lot of margins in motherboards except higher-end ones. Exactly that. People very rarely care about repairing motherboards. Like, they would mostly just throw them away and just get a new one. Except if you have like a 300 euro plus like motherboard. Which I actually had some on the bench for, a couple of times in the last few ones. You can tell you do this out of passion. It's really great to see. Thank you very much. I really do love electronics. Like, I'm very thankful that I found the thing that I love to do, and that I get to be passionate about it and can have also a community with it. It's great to have that, and like that I have the ability to just get lost in electronics. Like, hours pass by without me noticing, just while I'm doing electronics. And yeah, I'm very happy that I can say I have something like that in my life. So the crystal is reflowed into place. No idea if this can work or not, but we will have to find out. Yeah, we do it just for the fun, yeah. Like, even before I did YouTube and live streaming and everything, I was repairing motherboards already for a year, maybe 2. And the only thing why I did it is because I wanted to learn electronics and had fun doing it. Like, there are like, I think I did like almost 100 repairs of motherboards where I didn't do any YouTube videos of it or record anything, and where I was just doing it for the sake of myself. So, okay, it is changed. If we now put a CPU in and we have a power consumption that is higher of 85 milliamps, we will have fixed the board. I'm very interested now. Let's switch over to the overview again. Let's get some light actually into here, even though it's kind of reflective, but I still want some light in here because it's getting really dark. I've started this year with this to learn repairing stuff, and I have a lot to learn and buy stuff. Yeah, it is a long process. Like, I have also started with like very, very minimal things at the beginning. And yeah, it's a process where you have to get tools over time, because if you would want to buy everything just at the beginning, it would be a lot of money to spend on something that is just a hobby. Bare quads do not oscillate by themselves. They need some circuit to oscillate, often built into the IC that uses them. Yeah, they have to be like excited in order for them to oscillate. But this one should oscillate as soon as you have S5 state, so as soon as you have voltage in the board. Sometimes you have a quartz plus supporting circuit in a single package called crystal oscillator. When you have put voltage, it outputs a square signal. Yep. So, let's see then. Let's press this button and see if we get any different power consumption. No, we do not. And I don't think we will have a reaction to the power button. Yep. So I do think that we probably need a different crystal oscillator. Let's get the oscilloscope into here. Because I'm pretty sure that is actually our problem on this board. That the crystal oscillator isn't running. I will have to find if I can, like, see if I can get one of those crystals that is actually the same footprint. And get that into there. So let's see where we just been working on. And it looks the same. Same kind of signal. Same kind of noise on here. Or a very similar kind of noise. difficult thing to say here, actually. What that could be, why that is. Let's go under the microscope. I want to test something. Get the oscilloscope out of the way again. Let's switch scenes here. So there is a resistor to capacitors. Let's see if we get voltage anywhere. Because I do know some technicians that just check oscillation with like checking if there's voltage on there. But there's also no voltage on here at all. Yep. No voltage anywhere. This is already a sign that there's something wrong with this circuit. Let's see, can I follow these traces? This trace goes this way and then just goes, yeah, basically straight into the CPU. Let's see if we get an actual connection. Let's turn off the power supply. Let's see if we get a connection from that crystal oscillator to the socket. Hello, is repair your main job? No, it is not my main job and it's not my second job. My first job is studying in university and then I have actually a job and a company. I love electronics and even more so when you manage to repair something. In Spanish, the Repro Mod channel is very good. Thanks to this channel, I started to have managed to repair several motherboards. That is very great to hear. I buy every month something since June this year, but the important and expensive stuff I just coming yet. Stuff like preheater and maybe our 6500 self-built because pre-builds are so. Yeah, I have actually a preheater that I bought for 600 euros. I haven't got to use it yet, but yeah, preheaters, man. Full-size preheaters for motherboards, expensive. 8-bit repair, nice to see you. Chris, I guess is your name. Yeah, I just got that IR 6500 as well. Oh, interesting. The IR 6500, I've had that machine before. And the IR 6500, the big problem is that the preheater is a little bit too small for ATX motherboards. Black Horse Repair has modified his one in order to do that, but the experience that I have with that machine when I tried it is that the board gets too much localized heat and it isn't being preheated properly, and the board starts to flex. Like, this is the board and it starts to bow downwards because the heat is too localized where the CPU is, and then the CPU socket can't lay flat on it anymore because it is on an angle. And that's why I want to get a full-size preheater, which I have gotten in order to try that. Like, the big question for me is Black Horse Repair. He's been doing like CPU sockets for a long time, but I have not seen a single video where he actually tries to boot those boards afterwards, or does like a test for the DDR channels, or does a test for the PCIe connections. Like, it's kind of weird that he does that. Like, I'm not saying anything here. I just had people messaging me that they have had repairs of him done on sockets and it didn't work. And people asked me afterwards. So I've never talked to the guy. And yeah, I can just tell from what I've seen in his videos that it's weird to me to not check your work after what you've done. Like, what GPU technician will reflow or reball a core of a GPU and then not try to plug that GPU in and test it? They make IR 8500 slightly larger. Yeah, that's just for tuning the oscilloscope startup. There will be a mega ohm resistance somewhere feeding one side of the crystal. Might come from the CPU. Do you have a CPU pinout to check all the rails? Yeah, I do have a CPU pinout. I actually know where it connects to here. What kind of university? Technical, electronical? Yeah, I do study electrical engineering. Yeah, for the motherboard, you need a big IR heater from the bottom. Yeah, exactly. Only a small one from above. Yeah, the top heater there doesn't have to be so powerful, but the board has to be soaked in good heat. So let's check then. We wanted to check the connections. So we need continuity mode. And where we will be going is the second and third one. I don't think I can get deep enough here. And then we will check the, yeah, I cannot get deep enough. Let me get different probes. Where are my needle probes? Here they are. Yes, you confirm with the IR6500 it's garbage. I use standoffs and screw holes near the IC to support the board, and I put counterweights on the top of the edges. Yeah, you probably have to do that so the board doesn't bow too much in order for the socket to actually sit flat. Guten Abend, PAB Elektronik. Nice to see you. Guten Abend to you as well. So let's have a good see then. And these are very sharp probes. They probably should penetrate into the socket. Probably should be going like here somewhere. But I still cannot get any beep. Yeah, my probes don't want to beep at all because I didn't have them plugged in like that. Let's see again. So we go into this one. Yeah, connection is there from this one. And let's go one further. Yeah, we do have these two connections. So from this one we have a connection, and from this one we have a connection. Let's check at the board view once more what other connections are there. Don't be jealous of people who don't need to recheck their work. Well then, if he can do it without rechecking, I have big respect for that. I'm just saying, like, for a YouTube audience, I think it's kind of weird to show you work. Like the things that Black Horse Repair does looks really professional. Like with the own software that he wrote for the controller, I really have big respect for that, and he's really trying to make the IR6500 work. But it just, as I said, it's weird to me to not check it with the CPU afterwards. Let me have a quick drink. My throat is getting quite Managed to diagnose a X570 Godlike today. VDDP stuck at 0.6 volts and it wouldn't start. I normally do laptop repairs. Reva, do you by any chance use the Northwest Repair Discord? Because by chance I might have helped you today. Because I'm there with my alt account actually on Discord. Let me see if it was actually you. Yeah, Reaver X, it was actually you. You had 12.5k ohms on the output. Yep. Yep. I haven't replaced the socket successfully yet, but I don't really get boards with expensive socket damage to try it on. But I replaced some large BGAs from time to time. I hate it. Well then, yeah, that was my experience as well when I did some BGA work. But I do want to get into it. That's why I got a large preheater, and I really, really want to get into actually doing it reliably. So let's have a look. What I was looking at is that, oh, this is ground. Okay, so I was probing this one, which is ground, and oh yeah. So I have this one only, and I need to check the fourth one as well if that connects. But the third one I definitely did get a connection, and the third one I did get a connection. Let's check the fourth one as well. So let's swap over once more. Microscope. Here we are. Let's go into the fourth pin here. 4th pin is right there. Let's see. Yep. So the connection to the socket is actually good. So, what can else be the problem then? Why this isn't oscillating actually? It's just the oscillator that I have on here, not the right one. Because it is a different footprint. But as far as I know, both of these ones are just ground. Like, they are not connected to anything as far as I know. This is connected, yeah. Yeah, this is just ground. So I'm actually not too sure with, like, the viability of putting another oscillator on here. I might need to have a look at some donor boards in order to find that. I also want to see what the oscillation of what is it called? The SIO is. There's an oscillator there as well. Anyone here with an Aten 862D, how long before you had to replace heater? I have actually thought about buying that one as well, but I did decide for the quick 860W that I have. But I have heard very good things about the Aten station. So this is also a 32.768 kilohertz one. Interesting. But this one is for the SIO. I would be very interested in putting this one on the point, on the CPU point, and seeing if anything changes then. Ha. But the question is how does the how does the SIO then like that? But I want to see if we then get an oscillation there, if I actually swap that out. Let's do that. Let's just play around with this. I read the quick light about airflow. It's only 50 liters. That's why I went with Aten. Yeah, that can actually be true. Not too. I don't know too much about that, but yeah. I would also, if anyone would ask me, I would actually recommend the Aten as well. Because I've heard very good things about the Aten station. So let's get this crystal out of here. And put this one onto the CPU side and see if we have any change in the behavior of the board. I need to learn how to use the NVIDIA mods math software. This will take time, but I guess it's worth repairing GPUs in the future. I've actually never used maths and mods before. I have used T-Server, the equivalent for like Radeon GPUs. But yeah, I do not like doing GPU repairs. It's not my cup of tea. I've done a little bit of it, but yeah, not my thing. Because you do have to be very good at BGA work. Like Northwest Repair, he is so good at BGA work by now. He basically does it in his sleep. I have great respect for that guy. Yo, what you're messing? Yeah, this is a Phantom Gaming B550 AM4 board. That has no reaction to the power button. And we have a missing oscillation currently on the 32.67K oscillator for the CPU. And we are trying to put another one in now in order to find out if that changes anything. RTC power rail and RTC reset signal. Okay, we can actually check that afterwards. Let's first do the putting on this crystal on there, and then we can check the RTC signal. My hand completely in the way here. I love Tony, he's the goat. Yeah, I actually also like his editing style. So when he actually does fully edited videos, I actually find them quite funny as well. Come on there, let go. Come on, man. Why is this so hard to take off? The other one went quickly. Why does not this one want to? There we are. Now it's off. And let's now go to, where is it? Right there. Let's take that off once more. And it's off. And let's now get you onto here. But I think we can put you on here with a soldering iron. So let's go like this. And let's reflow this into place now. Yeah, no, now Repair has just made a new video about Black Horse repairs flux. Yeah, I've seen that actually. I'm going to watch that after your stream. I like that he doesn't hold back. He always gives honest opinion. Yeah, I saw that video. That was very interesting. But the problem is he's located in the US and I cannot get hold of that flux because, yeah, I'm in Germany. Yeah, no, my problem is that my native language is German. My English isn't the best to understand complex things. That's why I say I need the time for this. Yeah, I've actually, that is the interesting part. Like, my native language is also German. But like I've all of the content that I've consumed about this was always in English. So yeah, I learned everything of this just in English. So yeah, I'm only used to that and nothing else. Let's get the temperature a little bit higher for this area. No spoilers. Yeah, no spoilers. Did you start with Rossman? I actually did have watched a lot of Louis Rossman. I really loved his MacBook repairs. I learned a lot back then, like how to read the schematics and everything. Like, I do not watch him anymore. When he stopped doing repairs, I stopped watching him as well. And yeah, I've actually probably one of the ones that I've also started with, like many others, is Northridge Fix. But he's focused too much on running a business and not about the electronics itself. He does, like, his heart doesn't burn for the electronics themselves. He's more about the business of it. And who I really love to watch is Soren, because he loves electronics and has his heart is out there for electronics. And yeah, that is just, I just love that as well, because electronics is just, that's just my cup of tea. I just love messing with electronics. But like, no hate to North Rich Fix. He is a great businessman and his soldering skills are very good. Like, that guy, he's been running a business that is that successful for a reason. There was one guy, Chris Fix Germany or Chris Fix Germany for cards. Yeah, I do know Chris Fix. I have watched basically all of his videos. He's also in Germany here. And yeah, he's a great technician. Like, the kind of work that he did, he just had the perfect timing to be there, because when GPUs got so expensive because of the mining thing, he was there fixing GPUs and he must have made a fortune. I love Chris Fix Germany, but he has at the moment too much GPUs to repair, so he doesn't stream and make videos. Yeah, sadly, he does not do that. I actually also watched his live streams. They were also pretty good. So let's go into the overview. I'm very interested how this board now behaves, because now we don't have that crystal anymore on the SIO side, but we now have a crystal to the CPU. I'm very interested how this board will now behave. So let's see for the passive power consumption. Still 86 milliamps. So no change at all, huh? And probably no voltage here. Yep, no voltage. No oscillation, no nothing. Difficult one, difficult one. Why do we not have an oscillation? Like, no way this crystal is also faulty. Like, that just has to be something related to a different problem then. Let's then put the other crystal back out to the SIO, so we're not missing that anymore. Because I pretty surely I can say it's not the crystals that were on the spots, but there's something else preventing this from booting up or from having an oscillation, like the RTC circuitry not working properly. So let's put the oscillator back onto here. Can anyone remember, was it orientated like this? I think it was. No, it was not. It was orientated like this. Yep, that has to be like it. So that's one reason I started to wanted to experience that we have picture moment for myself. Yeah. And we have picture. Cannot believe it. Soren has some great quotes. Love the guy. Let's clean off these pads. Let me get some solder wick in order to have it easier onto them. Soren is a dodgy goat. Yeah, I love his things. I like his way to repair, old school repair. Yeah, he really does that. I like his style of not really caring about what people think of like his dodginess and everything, because he makes stuff work. And yeah, sometimes he knows that he shouldn't be as dodgy, but he just can't help it, and I love the guy for it. So let's put that onto here. Does the board have 5 VSP? Yeah, the board actually has a lot of power. Like many voltages of this board are actually running. So the board gets quite far in its startup sequence. This is why it's so weird that it's still stuck at like not having S3. This back leg is actually gone off of the resistor, off of the oscillator, but that isn't too important. This is just a ground leg. This is just for fixing it in place, and this one is attached. So let's leave it at that. Chips the right way, 32 nearest the chip. Oh yeah, thank you. Okay, so this is done then. Oh, what can we check then? Because, so we do not have an oscillation, so the CPU does not want to, so the CPU isn't giving out the signal to oscillate this. So the question is, why isn't the CPU talking to the oscillator? Because the CPU does have 0.9 volts and it does have 1.8 volts, which are like the standby stuff. We can see for some RTC circuitry that we have voltage there. Not a great way to teach other people, in my opinion, though. Yeah, that's actually, it is, the problem is that unexperienced people can damage things quite easily if they try to be like Soren. Like, Soren knows what to do with the power supply, for example, and he has burned stuff as well. And if you don't know how things work with resistances and voltage and everything, you can burn things quite easily with poking around with the power supply. So yeah. It's funny, I started with Alex from Northridge Fix with this matter, but now I know much more guys, they repair stuff, and I prefer the more now what Northridge, he is good, but he dodged the hard breaks. Yeah, he concentrates on running a business. He does the things that he knows, like where patterns occur, where he knows what to do, and where what pays well. He looks at that. He isn't there for reading schematics for hours, trying to understand how it works, because he always says he has a business that needs to be sustainable, that he has people that work for him as well, that he needs to pay a wage also. Does the board view have the power rail on sequence? No. I do have a power on sequence for like AM4, but this board doesn't have it. Yeah, some newbies will not understand what's wrong with those dodgy repairs. It's not if it works, it's how long it will work. Yeah, that's also a thing. But he does show when bots come back, like when he has comeback jobs. But yeah. So let's see. This is just flux. Yeah, this is just flux. This is the RTC area. Let's check if we have 3.3 volts there. So let's see right here. So let's see. RTC voltages. Right here should be probably 3 VSB, yes, and then its output, also 3 VSB. And right there, after the 0 ohm resistor, also 2.1. Huh. Why 2.1? Probably something about my probes screwing up, right? 2.1 ohms? 2.1 volts? 3.4? 3.2. Okay. 3.2. 3.2. Okay, just bad probing. So all of that has voltage. Let's then go into board view and see where this voltage also goes to, in order to check if that voltage goes everywhere we need it to be. Guys, if you have any suggestions on what to check on this board, let me know. We have some time to check different things. Watching from snowy Chicago, I really enjoy watching your videos. I feel like I've learned a lot and have managed to repair a number of motherboards as a result. I'm very glad to hear that. That is one of the things I love to hear, when people get to actually learn something from my videos and then be able to transfer that knowledge into actually practicing it on boards. That is lovely to hear. I would really be interested to see an Off-Ridge Fix live stream. Oh, that would be quite stressful for him probably, because he has very quick turnaround times for the amount of jobs that he does. He fires through repairs like it's nothing. It would be like live shopping channels. Yeah, he loves to advertise his stuff. Like, he puts a lot into his online store, and yeah, it is kind of like watching an ad all the time. Oof, this was not in my mind. Well, the power sequence will start at the PCH. It is outputting all the required rates enable 6. For AM4, it's actually quite different. because most of what is part of the PCH on Intel boards is actually integrated in the CPU. So what you're talking about is actually what we are missing here currently for the CPU, which is an S3 signal. And on most Intel boards, that S3 signal would be coming from the PCH, but the FCH on AM4 boards is actually a board will start up without the FCH on AM4. You can actually desolder the B550 of a known good board and it will react to the power button to actually start its boot up sequence. It will get stuck, but it will actually start the boot up sequence. And so let's see here. Where's the button cell here? So this is the output voltage for the battery. This goes to 10 places. Capacitor, LDO for RTC, LDO out. So we will have to go into this area as well. 0 ohm resistor going to, this is the one where it came from. Okay, another capacitor, 1 mega ohm resistor, probably, yeah, going to the SIO, another 1 mega ohm going to the SIO, and the SIO itself. Okay, so let's then have a look at this regulator. This is probably a 1.5 volt linear regulator then. 150 milliamps, yeah. Let's go to there. It might be a switching one. Alright, I didn't know that. I'm from a time when there was still Northbridge and Southbridge law. Yeah, it's kind of like everything of that is included now into the CPU of AM4. And yeah, on most Intel boards, you would still be right with what you're saying, but on AM4, it's a little bit different. Yeah, let's go to that RTC section. It is right here. Okay, that looks good so far. Let's get some readings in here. Probably are going to have a 1.5 volt rail right here. What it gets stepped down to. Well, yep, 1.5 volts. Exactly. And this is probably the feedbacking. Then goes to the 0 ohm resistor and goes into here as an output. Then continues through probably 1k ohm resistor here. 1.5. And also 1.5. Yeah, it all looks fine. Let's see where those go, but I don't think we have to go any further than that. Do you use those CPU socket testers where you can measure signals from the socket? I actually have one of those, but for AM4 I've never had any luck for them because I did not know what I should be expecting from them. We can have a look at the one that I have, but yeah. 1.5 volts, yeah, is the output. Going, there's nothing here. 0 ohm resistor here. Capacitor, 1k ohm resistor, nothing else. And then after the 1k ohm resistor, it goes to the clear CMOS header, goes to a 220 ohm resistor near the LED controller, and to the BGA. Okay, and if we then have 1 kilo ohms after here, we will have to check if that actually reaches the socket right here. Let's see then. Let's see if we have continuity from this pin right here down to like the clear CMOS header, for example. So back under the microscope. Continuity mode. CPU socket. Right here. And let me quickly check which pin it was that we need. Bottom left, I think, from that. Yeah. So we need to be right in this pin right here. There it is. Yeah, we do have continuity from it. Okay, continuity is there. Let's check again with voltage on there that it is still 1.5 volts with the CPU on here. So we can just see for the clear CMOS header then. 1.5 volts, yep. So the RTC line is definitely also not our problem. Whew, difficult. What else to check? So we know we do not have the oscillation on that quartz. Yeah, CPU is good. We can also put a different CPU into here. I have multiple CPUs here. This is a 3100, for example. Let's swap this out. So what do we have here, for example? Let's put this 2600 into here. Get a different generation of chip into here. And turn this on. And basically same powers, same behavior, same power consumption. I wanted to have a look at the socket tester. Right. Let me get that. So, AM4 socket tester. This is the thing that I have. This is the socket tester. This has some LEDs. And I have no idea what to check with it. So I don't even know which way it would fit into the board, to be perfectly honest. So let's probably go to the overview for this, so it's easier to see the whole thing. So this is the socket tester that I have. I have basically never used this. And it has some LEDs at the front here. Uses the coin cell battery and has a button on it. And I think it is supposed to go in this way. Yeah, all of these signals are actually there. I can see all of the LEDs lighting up. Let's get the microscope in here. So let's see. It's hard to see, but these are also on, all of these. These are on well, but the other ones are also on. Let's get that light out of here. Yeah, still not better to see, but they are all on. Let's get this light out of here. And now it's easy to see. Yes. Now you can see all of these are on. So yeah, even if one of these signals would be missing, I wouldn't really know what signal it would be then. But yeah, the socket tester also says that everything is good from like a resistance point of view. That all of those are there. I'm getting stuck so badly on this motherboard. Where to go, what to check. I want to check a line that is called RSM RST. That actually has often problems. Let's go into the board view and see where that goes to. The RSM RST is supposed to be connected with the to the 1.8 volt line, and I've seen boards misbehave because of that and not react to the power button. Let's see. Let's search for the RSM RST. Connected to 22 kilo ohm resistor to 1.8 volts probably. Yep, to 1.8 volts. So at this resistor, we want to see 1.8 volts on this side here. Hello, I'm very glad to watch you live. Thank you for all the information that you share. The bet Swalm 199901. Thank you very much that you are here. I'm very glad that you enjoyed all of the information. That is the most important thing for me. Trying to teach people and trying to get the information out of there that people can do their own electronics repair. And that is exactly what I love to hear from people. DIM. What is that supposed to mean, JFix? Let's see here. We need the microscope. So, 22 kilo ohm resistor. Is it this one? one? I think it should be this one. Yeah, that is supposed to be one. Silly question, is not being held in reset, is it? That is actually a good question. I will have to see. I do have the PCIe tester with which you can see if it's in reset state. We can do that. Let's check. So this side is supposed to be 1.8 volts and this side. Yep, 1.8 volts is there. So RSM RST is present. Let's check for if this board is held in a reset state. We can check that on the PCIe. Let's see, this is our PCIe tester. Let's turn this on. Nope, reset state is not being held here. So it's not stuck in a reset state. Oh, but I'm so undecided on the area of the crystal oscillator. Why do we not have oscillation on this crystal oscillator? The oscillator itself must be good because we've tried with 3 different oscillators and they all behave the same. We have checked the BIOS. I have also flashed the BIOS. So that shouldn't be a problem. Some sort of signal has to be missing for the CPU. But what else can we check? What else could there be? Oh, it's been so long since I did the BIOS on this. But I'm really don't think that the BIOS should be a problem here anymore because I've flashed this probably multiple times already, this BIOS on here. I was meaning some of the status LED were dim. Oh yeah. Yeah, they were very dim, but that is normal. Also on the DDR tester, on the DDR data line tester, those also have dim LEDs very often, and that is normal. That's why I wanted to see the CPU power rail sequence. I don't know all the rates. As far as I know, the power rails for AM4 that a CPU actually needs are mostly just 1.8 and VDDP. We can let's open the power rails. I do have a sequence that has some stuff on it. Let me find that quickly. Schematics AM4 power sequence. There it is. Let's switch over. Right here. Coils to ground voltages of chips. Coils to ground, all of them were fine. We didn't have any short circuits. Voltage of chips. Yeah, depending what chips you're asking right now. Okay, we have VBAT. All of the VBAT circuitry for the RTC we've been following, we have the 1.5 volts and the 3 volts. Visual check, yeah, we did the complete board. 5 VSB, we do have that. 5 volt dual, we have that. We checked that. 3.3 volt VSB, we have. We have VDD 1.8 S5, we have that. We have VDDP S5. VDD CR SOC 5 watts. I do not know what this one is supposed to be. VSAS 105, we have that. We have RSM RST. We don't have the RTC CLK. So this is the point that we not have. And it says by CPU RSM RST. So if you have RSM RST connected, you should get RTC CLK. But we do not. But we have RSM RST. We just checked that. Like this is where we checked from this to here. This is the connection to here. And this is the RSM RST that is present right here. And it is 1.8 volts. But the question is, I've had this that the RSM RST was missing, but I saw 1.8 volts on this side of the resistor. So it is there. Maybe found that CRSOC. Yeah, I will have to find out what that is. I have not heard of that. VDD or CR. Let's see in this board view if you can. VDD. Da, da, da. VDDCR doesn't come up with VDDCR. Here, APU VDDR SOC. Oh, this is. Why should this come up early? By 5-volt dual. Because this is the SOC voltage for the APU. VDD. VDDCR. VDDCR. Yep. That is only that voltage. After CR89. CR89. Yeah, we checked on both sides of that resistor. We checked on both sides of CR89 and both sides have 1.8 volts. I don't think that in S0 state this voltage is supposed to run. Pretty sure that it isn't. Because this is being powered by by single phase drivers. Single phase driver? No way this is supposed to be running in S0 state. Let's check for it's in A or for like it's VCC. Its VCC is probably its VCC is 12 volts. This is not supposed to run in S0. Midnight Germany repair. Yeah, it's it's already half past 12 o'clock at midnight. Oh, it's late. That's the thing. I get lost in these repairs. 2 a.m. for you. Wow. Yeah, so the SOC voltage is definitely not supposed to run in standby mode. I do not know why this is on the sheet here. Why this voltage is here. Because this is definitely not supposed to run. It seems to be a different SOC kind of rail because it says SOC S5. And S5 is the standby mode. There's probably an SOC, a normal SOC somewhere. Where's it? No, doesn't say anything like that. Okay. Oh, there. VDD CR SOC. Yeah. This is later. And this is by that controller. Yeah. PCH power 105 volts. We had 2.5 volts only starts when you have 3.3 volts. And yeah, and VSA's 3.3 volts we also have. Oh, difficult. So why is our RTC LCK not running? Why do we not have oscillation on that crystal? That is to find out. I need to check let's check the resistances on those pads. If that has any weird reading of the oscillator. Let's check right here. No, I get a really high reading. Blurry green letters, what does it say? It says it is it is a rise time. That is just a rise time of like 50 milliseconds, 15 milliseconds or something like that. That it's supposed to be rising. Herr Medic, guten Tag. Guten Tag, Autopia. How are you on this lovely day? So, let's see for resistances. Yeah, this has really high resistance. This is ground, and the inner watts of that has high resistance. Yeah, so nothing shorted there as well. What a bummer so far. What can be wrong with this CPU circuitry here? So difficult to say. Um, so good having stream at this Saturday night. But you are sure you are not destroying crystals when soldering? That is actually a very good point. I've done the soldering of crystals multiple times, and I've basically done it the same way I did right now. And yeah, I don't think I did destroy anything with doing that. This is the reason I prefer GPUs. Just a ton of different rails and all I need the correct voltage and resistance to work. Yeah, check and diode mode ground to see if it makes to the CPU. We have checked that it makes to the CPU. Yeah, we have checked the traces actually. I do have a signal generator. I do have one, but I do not know if it can do like the 32 kilohertz signal. We can try that out. That would be something interesting. Where did I put it? I do not know if the board actually would accept um, an external oscillation like that, because probably what is happening that it's not the oscillation that is the problem, but something before telling the board to actually go to the oscillation and do that, or like the CPU. So something even before that. Let's get this then here. Because this thing, as far as I know, let's go to the overview, is a handheld oscilloscope, but that it can also do like the that is not the right scene. We want to be here. But this one is also supposed to be a signal generator, I think. Signal generator. I've never used this as a signal generator. How does this work? Step wave, full wave, half wave, smooth wave, square wave, sine wave. Sine wave at a frequency of 33,000. What is it then after this that we can get it accurate, like 678 or something? Let me see at the board view quickly. It is supposed to be 768. 7 6 and 8. This probably won't work, but I just want to see if it reacts to something. Crystals go bad if get wet, I heard. Time for white smoke. Do you maybe know if Medion or Fujitsu Siemens did made motherboards in Germany? I think they did. I'm not too sure. I don't see why not just keep it to 1 volt. I was gonna suggest feeding a voltage to the crystal via a 1 mega ohm resistor. 1 volt seems to kickstart oscillation. 22678. Yeah, thank you. Let's see then at the amplitude. Um, let's get the amplitude down to 1 volt. Yeah, that should be it. We can check that with my oscilloscope if that actually will work properly. Let's see. We need this, I think. How do we start this run? Oh yeah, now it's running, I think. Let's get the oscilloscope in here, and let's see if we actually get a signal out of that. Very interested if this works now. Very interesting. We might be about to fry a CPU, but like I've set it to 1 volt, so it should be fine. Let's get this ground clamp onto here. Let's see if this now can see an oscillation out of here. It cannot. Am I at the wrong things? Oh no, I wasn't wrong. I wasn't running. Yeah, like that. Okay, so we actually get. It's not quite the signal that we need. It's a little bit slower, but it is there. If you can see, it is the signal, but it says it's 32.43 kilohertz. But we might be able to actually do it with that. So, very interesting setup that we have. Let's try it out. So, let's go to this ground point, which is hopefully a ground point. We can also check that. Let's see that is actually a good ground point that we are probing. Right here in continuity mode for ground right there and here. Yeah. Okay, then let's this is starting to get a messy on here, but let's get this attached to my tweezers, and we will be inserting that signal then. So we do have power consumption here, and we do have 200 milliamps, and we do have a reaction to the power button, 2.1 amps, but it's not changing anymore, does it? We do have V core. I feel the CPU getting hot, but it's not moving anymore. Interesting. 2.5, 2.6 amps. Okay, now it's only the CPU heating up. Interesting turn of events. Okay. Let's get a different CPU into here. So we now know. Oh, hey, it's that Finalizing oscilloscope. Yeah, that's a handheld oscilloscope and also a signal generator. Let's see if with a different CPU, if this changes anything. Big question now is, the missing oscillation, is that our actual problem, or is that just a symptom of our actual fault? It works. You need to solder that signal generator on the board, then fix it. Yeah, just put that whole thing onto there and leave it at that and call it a fix. No negatives, a digital circuit, it releases magic smokes. But then he needs offset, medic, what brand bot is better to avoid? Oh, it's always difficult to say. 1 volt above 0 or 0.5 watts minus. So the CPU is not enabling the crystal, or did I get that wrong? That is the big question, yeah. Have you checked the enable line to the socket for resistance in case it's damaged? Yeah, the question is, what is the enable line for the CPU socket? The one that I know is RSM RST, and that is good. I find crystal circuits and check up or downstream. We have checked the crystal circuit a lot. I think the confused PCB boards, he forgot that the repair motherboards, he thinks the repair audio amplifiers. Don't know what you mean with that. But let's see with the different CPU once more. So let's turn this on. And when applying power, we actually do get the 200 milliamps. Let's turn this on once more. Yeah, and this CPU doesn't get anything. This CPU is just 1.2 amps. The other one actually did get further. Okay, let's see. Let's try another different CPU then. Because I think what we are doing is just avoiding the problem of the oscillation by just skipping a step. I think there's another more underlying issue that we are skipping with this. And yeah, that's why it does not want to like turn on or post right now. Yeah, with the different CPU, 2.7 amps, 2.5, jumping power consumption, but it's not initializing. It just gets stuck at 1 power consumption then. 3 amps? Oh, is it booting? No way. 4 amps? It's getting really... No way. No, 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 no. No way. You cannot tell me that. Is it actually that all of the crystals that I have all just fried? Let's get a cooler onto here because the CPU is getting really warm. And I do have a post screen enabled. I also do want to the keyboard on here in order to check. Okay, let's try that again. Let's have a good look at the power consumption. So turning this on, getting the input for the oscillation, and let's watch this now. So 2.7 amps, 2.8 amps. 3 amps, 4 amps. Restarting. 3 amps again. 1.6 amps. The LEDs are jumping back and forth. I do not have an indication on my numlock yet. 4 amps. 4.2 amps. Probably reset BIOS trying to initialize. Do not have a anything indication on my keyboard yet. Let's try a different port here. No indication. 4.5 amps. 4.6. It really looks like it should be posting right now. Lose chipset BEGAs? I don't think so. 4.8 amps. I would really expect us to... I would think that the board has posted by now. But something is still weird. 4.1 amps. It jumped again in power consumption. Like, the big problem is that this oscillation that we have on here isn't the cleanest. Okay, let's turn this off once more. I want to read some of your stuff, what you've posted in here. Because we didn't boot up currently, but we got really far in the power up sequence. We didn't have picture yet. Now you see why quick is bad with the low airflow. Only thing is missing the kickstart for the oscillator circuit. It must come from the CPU oscillator circuit. So it's either the CPU has a rail missing for some pin to do one of two. Yeah. With the PLL, or could be broken crystal, memory training, loose chipset BGA. We might want to put actually the cooler onto the chipset. That is one thing that we can do. VGA light, or which one is the stuck on? It's actually the boot LED, the very last one. Try other RAM channels. That is a good idea. We need to do that. Current is slowly changing. Let's change the RAM socket to a different one. Plug that in a couple of times. And let me actually get the cooler onto the PCH that doesn't overheat. Because it did get quite warm right there. And if we have a long boot cycle like that, I don't want it to overheat. And let's also put a charger onto this signal generator because it's getting low. But let's first put the actual heatsink onto there again, so we don't fry anything with that. So there's the heatsink. Do I have the screws here somewhere? Ah, these are just these push-fitted ones. Okay. So let's get this off of here. Like, I would have not expected that to work. Like, I am fairly impressed on how far that was getting with having an oscillation input from outside. Like, props to you guys for suggesting that. That is actually really cool. Almost 2 a.m. here. Yeah, it's almost 1 a.m. here for me. Has BIOS been flashed? Yeah, BIOS has been flashed. Good morning. Isolate generator when using, don't use while charging. Yeah, I probably should. Yeah. Okay, let's put the cooler back on. Let's get the signal generator once more. I want a post out of this, man. 3000. The 3000G is a bad example to use here. Let's see if it can do the 4300. Or we might. What is always supported in my experience is the 3100 and put just a dedicated GPU into here. That is one of the most reliable setups that I know in order to get a picture and a boot out of things. Let's try it like this, and let's get the oscillator again here. So, connecting my ground and using the tweezers to inject a signal. Man, I just want, if I see a picture, we are going to sleep after that. I'm so tired, but I have licked blood right here. I want to see this thing booting. So let's see, with the GPU in here now. So changing power consumption is a very good sign. So VGA LED, still jumping power consumption. And the boot screen, I cannot believe that. There is the BIOS. Holy smokes. No way. Oh, it posted. I cannot believe it. After 2 hours and 10 minutes and injecting external oscillation into the crystal, it's actually posting. Thank you guys so much for all your help. I will have to get some oscillators onto here. Like, I will have to find a donor board and carefully remove one and put it onto here and try that out. But this, oh, man, I'm happy. This is such a relief to see. Oh, cannot believe it that this board is actually on. Let's turn it off. Oh, man. Actually, a dead crystal or dead oscillator circuit. I cannot believe it. Oh. Oh, thank you guys for being here with me for all of this. Yes, we have picture. Do you have a Discord server? And another question, if I may, where you get the board views for the boards? The board views I actually buy online. I just Google for them, and I always use North with West Repair Discord. check caps on a crystal circuit. Yeah, we might need to do that, but probably not today. Alles okay. Yes, I got an Aorus B350 Aorus lead today for repair. Had quite a few of those, many different issues on them. Good job, order a crystal and go to sleep. Yeah, that's probably what I have to do. It's almost 1 a.m. We have picture. Remove donor and test ohms on that circuit with no crystal. Yeah, I could do that. And when fitting, gently heat the crystal first. Yeah, I will have to do it very gently and see for some different crystals. Great to experience as a win like this live. Yeah, that is the first board. That is the very first board that we were able to repair live, actually. Like we have one other board that we tried where I couldn't find the actual issue, but this is the very first board that we were able to gather online to fix together after 2 hours of checking a lot of different things. Oh, nice one. Yeah, thank you very much. I have to thank all of you for being here with me, for spending your evenings or days and hours and minutes with me. Thank you very much for sharing this experience and actually guiding me and helping me on this path for actually getting this board to work, where I wouldn't have thought that it would be going this way. Oh, crystals are not the same if they have the same value. They have different characteristics such as load capacitance, resistance. Yeah, exactly. That is something that I have to educate myself still on. Guys, hit the like button. It's for free. Yeah, thank you very much for all the engagement as well. So you need a proper crystal, otherwise the circuit could not oscillate. Yeah, probably. Now you're dodgy like Sauron. Just saw the generator, as JPEG said. Yeah, this is now a permanent part of this mainboard. I'm going to solder the output on it, and you will always have to keep the battery powered. Or I will just, the internal battery, I will connect it to the board, to like the 5V and have it permanently running in this mode. And you have to set up the oscillator every time you want to boot up this board or cold start this board. This was fun and a good crowd. Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much, everyone. It is fun, thanks and share with everyone. Mad Max PC repair, exactly. We're not dodgy. We're just having a good repair, you know? Oh, so guys, with that, thank you very much. Thank you for being in my YouTube videos. Thank you for being in my live streams. I hope you enjoyed this live stream and this repair. And I hope you learned something just like I did learn something today. If you have some final words, let me hear them right now so I can still read them, and then we'll go offline together. Thanks for the stream. Thanks, Ross, for being here. Looking forward to your next stream also. Thank you for the stream. Thank you very much for being here. Thanks, Crack Hack. Thanks, That's Bats. Well, thank you very much for being here, everyone. Sometimes we learn together, and that is the beauty of it. Learning together on these repairs, I just love it. That makes me really happy. Any feature and socket replacements? Yes, I will be trying socket replacements. I do have a big preheater. Let me show you the preheater right there. It's a full-size preheater right there. It fits E80X boards, and we will be trying socket replacements with that at some point. And probably will do that on stream. Meisterklasse, thank you very much. Rusty Rull is the best. Yeah, his live streams are also very great. So guys, with that, let me find the right buttons to end the stream actually. Thank you very much for being here. Have a great night. Have a great day. Love you all. Big hearts in the chat. Bye everyone. This was Mainboard Medic. Thank you very much and goodbye.